How about now? Do we have sound? Do we have sound yet? I see sound. No sound. What the heck? Hello, testing, testing, testing. Yes, there is sound now. Oh, thank God. Okay, wait. People are saying sound, no sound. I am speaking. I'm just going to keep talking. Yes, the actual president's address. How about now, guys? Yes. Okay, sweet. All right, good. All right, how is everybody? Okay, well, we've got a lot of things to talk about before the president starts at 9 o'clock. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put on slow mode again because now we have almost 1,000 people in here, you guys. So please bear with me. All right, guys. So tonight, I am predicting a huge announcement from President Donald Trump. I believe that he will certainly be declaring a national security emergency. Kylie 360, the president's address starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. No. It is 8 p.m. Eastern. That's when I'm starting. The president starts at 9 p.m. Eastern. All right. Tonight, I believe the president is going to be declaring a national security emergency announcement. This will be huge. Huge. Hey, Crystalline, my mod is in the house. There is sound and people are being a-holes. Okay. There was no sound for a minute. It appears that there definitely is sound now. So, let me see here. Let's get started with some of the news. Did everyone see my video earlier today? I put one out this morning about Benghazi. I know Benghazi is old news, and some people might say, at this point, what difference does it make? One person in particular might say that, but for me, it's important news, okay? Any news about Benghazi is big news because we lost American lives. There was multiple stand-down orders, and Hillary Clinton sentenced those people to death. It was because of Hillary Clinton that our ambassador, Christopher Stevens, was murdered on film, okay, and his body was paraded around the streets. It's because of Hillary Clinton that those weapons got into the hands of those terrorists, and subsequently, the government of Libya was torn down. As she said, we came, we saw, he died, and she cackled with that manic laugh of hers. Yes, lock her up. Hillary Clinton deserves to be locked up and more. Thank you very much, Wild Tangent. I do appreciate that. Well, the second video I put out, now here's the thing. The reason I'm asking, Cindy Lou, thank you for the super chat. First super chat of the night, my girl Cindy Lou. Here is the thing, guys. The reason I'm asking if you guys saw it is because both of those videos were immediately demonetized. The second one was about this real creep. His name is Ed Buck. Have you guys heard of Ed Buck? Ed Buck is a major Democratic donor, a millionaire out of California now. He started his political career in Arizona. But Ed Buck is a real sicko, all right? Ed Buck has a habit, and that habit, hey, Pure Texan, oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you enjoy. I'm glad you're here, my friend. Ed Buck is this real sicko, all right? He has a habit of luring young black men Okay, they are prostitutes. I will say that front and center. But he invites them in. He uses his money to call them into his home, and apparently he doesn't even engage in marital acts, shall we say. But what Ed Buck likes to do is he likes to inject these prostitutes with massive doses of crystal methamphetamine. All right, he himself is a huge drug addict. All right. And what he does is he will tie people up, he will shoot them up, and then he will essentially watch them die. All right? This has now happened 2 times. The first time, the LA County District Attorney chose not to press charges. They said that there wasn't enough evidence or something crappy like that. But this just happened the other day. Now it's happened a second time. And the first time, when they were hauling that poor young man's body out of this gentleman, well, I'm not even going to call him a gentleman, this creep's house, there was another prostitute that Ed Buck had called to come over for a party. Ed Buck is a sick, disgusting piece. And apparently Eileen Kay says that there are a bunch of protesters at his apartment complex. Good. Ed Buck needs to get called out. Now, we're going to read an article about this Ed Buck situation, you guys. And I just want to warn you first off that it's from an LGBT website. So there's probably going to be some pictures of like scantily dressed shirtless men. I'm just going to say that out loud. So just keep in mind, I will try to obscure them as quickly as possible. Oh yeah, Elizabeth, you hate that, right? All right. Allegations in death of sex worker plague influential West Hollywood political insider. Now, here at the top, this is him. This is Ed Buck right here. If that face doesn't scream, I'm addicted to crystal meth, I don't know what is. But you can see all the telltale signs, premature aging. He has some nasty looking scabs on him. But this is Ed Buck's taste right here. Ed Buck likes to lure guys like this to his house so that he can kill them. He is a crazy sicko serial killer, and he probably thought he'd never get caught. Here we go, unmasking the Ed Buck they thought they knew. In the week since news outlets across the globe picked up a WeHo Times broke last Monday about the death of a 26-year-old Texas youth at the home of a politically influential West Hollywood resident and a personal close friend of Hillary Clinton, I might add. A disturbing picture began emerging of a man who evidence suggests is equally comfortable mingling among America's uppermost echelon citizenry as he is rattling the nerves of sex workers by way of alleged coercion, heaps of cash, piles of illicit drugs, and allegedly involuntary injections of methamphetamine. Thanksgiving dinners. Thank you so much for the super chat. Pat Tillman. Pat Tillman was an American hero, and he was killed. Not by the enemy. Thanks, Stan Woods. I appreciate that. Okay, and here, look at this, guys. This is why I want to show this article. It's so important. Look, Ed Buck, smiling Ed Buck. Standing with, who's that? That's little Adam Schiff. Now, apparently, the gentleman on this side, or the creep, rather, shall I say, I'm too polite sometimes. This guy on the right was accused of he had assaulted a child or multiple children, and apparently got the charges dropped as well. So Ed Buck runs in circles. So you got 2 sick, perverted MFs right here, and they're hanging out with Adam Schiff. So, what do we know about Adam Schiff? Adam Schiff had some type of situation, shall we say, happen at the Standard Hotel. Disgusting people. A growing mountain of evidence obtained by WeHo Times, including multiple eyewitness accounts, smartphone images, background interviews, on-the-record interviews, court documents, hospital bills, and text messages, reveal a pattern that depicts a well-heeled politico named Ed Buck as a man with a history of allegations that he pays young, good-looking African-American men anywhere from $500 to $3,500 to inject, smoke, and otherwise ingest potentially fatal doses of crystal methamphetamine and GHB during allegedly paid sexual encounters. But the sex takes a back seat to Buck's alleged primary fetish, according to several sources. Hey, Lady Warrenon! But the sex takes a backseat to Buck's alleged primary fetish, according to several sources, who say his first interest is getting young black men to take dangerously large doses of street drugs. My situation with Ed Buck was always, how long do you want to see me for? And we'll come up with a number that we both can agree on, said a 28-year-old part-time sex worker who asked to be identified by the alias DeMar Love to protect his full-time job as a security guard. When I get there, I always want my money up front, and that's how it always started, Love told WeHo Times during an interview Sunday. Initially, when I got there, I understood that he was already well under the influence because he told me he had already been up for 2 days and was still doing drugs as far as liquid GHB, shooting meth, crystal meth, and smoking it. When he insisted that I get high and continued to get high, that's when I started to do my research on him. DeMar Love believes that Buck was unaccustomed to his level of concern for his own safety as a potentially vulnerable sex worker in another man's home environment. Buck, he says, did not like his unwillingness to turn off his smartphone, which he used to ensure his girlfriend knew where he was. Nor did Buck like him using his phone to shoot photos inside the apartment. He didn't know the young man was also using his smartphone to research his host a little bit before letting his guard down. Says Love, the money Buck paid was incredibly good, but the scene was unsettling. I was like, why are you insisting that I be high, he said, recalling his thoughts during the first of 3 visits he made to Buck's apartment. Indeed, WeHo Times has confirmed that photos of Love in his underwear were taken inside of Ed Buck's apartment in West Hollywood. Well, these pictures are now gone. Dang it. You guys, these pictures showed Ed Buck's apartment. The floor is littered with like underwear and drug paraphernalia. It was a generally disgusting place. Why are you insisting I shut my phone off and I don't have any contact with the outside world while I'm here with you alone in your place, Love continued. At that moment, I knew it was time to forget about pleasing the client and start asking questions for my personal safety. That's when I wanted to know what he did for a living and when I wanted to know him, that I had people to know where I was. Now, this dude has a girlfriend. Like, what are you doing, man? I mean, like, everybody needs money, but, like, why put yourself in a situation like that? DeMar Love says he had never seen anyone as intoxicated as Buck allegedly during that first encounter. Being under the influence to the level that he was and the idea that he was trying to get me to that level, let me put it this way. The only thing I could think of that was not about him wanting to get me that high so that he could do something bad to me that I didn't want done was maybe he just didn't want me to remember anything. Either way, I couldn't see myself letting him get me that high. First of all, GHB, the only thing you're supposed to take with GHB is water. It doesn't mix with anything. Not meth, not alcohol, not poppers, not anything. You can die if you start mixing that stuff. The July 27th death of Jamel Moore at Ed Buck's Laurel Avenue apartment near Norton Street in West Hollywood was quickly classified by the Los Angeles County coroner as accidental and methamphetamine caused. Multiple sources who have known Buck for several years, while they were shocked by the tragedy of Moore's death at the home of the Democratic Party donor, activist, and organizational heavy hitter, say they weren't totally surprised. When former West Hollywood City Council member Steve Martin ran again, along with a slate of candidates that included Ed Buck in 2007, the two were friends and allies. Yet according to Martin, by 2011, Buck had become openly hostile and unstable, both in his public demeanor and in his personal interactions with Martin and others when they disagreed with Buck. It was clearly obvious after 2007 that this guy had a serious personality disorder. Martin told WeHo Times, noting that after an effort that Buck helped lead to saving a local historic resource didn't go exactly as planned, the activist became erratic and unstable and unpredictable. Asked if he and his colleagues suspected drug abuse as a potential cause of Buck's allegedly hostile behavior, the former councilman was definite in his reply. Everyone knew it, Martin said. It's BS if they say they didn't. It was like a family. You know, everyone in the family knew it. There were people who embraced it, and they were, frankly, members of the city council. They knew Ed had a lot of problems, and they knew Ed was a controversial member of the community. So, as far back as 2007, people in Hollywood, in government, in Los Angeles, knew that he was on drugs. People on government in Los Angeles were doing drugs with Buck. They embraced it, he said. Although John D'Amico was the council member who sponsored the ordinance that led to the ban on retail fur sales, everyone familiar with the story knew the fur ban was Buck's baby. It was an advent that not only enhanced his reputation in WeHo, but it also put him on the map nationally as a progressive who can get things done. USA Today quoted Buck as saying, "This is monumental, a sea change in the animal rights movement." The fur ban wasn't universally supported in West Hollywood. The fact that one of the world's largest fur trade associations, the Fur Information Council of America, is based in West Hollywood may not be a coincidence either. Buck, whose list of friends, acquaintances, and picture-with photo opportunities includes some of Hollywood, California's most powerful and popular Democrats, such as West Hollywood City Councilman John Duran, Congressman Ted Lieu, Governor Jerry Brown, and even former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, scared some people during the fur ban debate in 2011. Someone is asking what GHB does. GHB is like one of those date rape drugs. You can put it in somebody's drink at a bar. It's apparently tasteless and odorless. If you mix it with alcohol, it has a very quick, hypnotic effect, I guess, and a sedative effect. So people will give people GHB if they want them to pass out, and then they can do whatever they want to them. And that's the kind of stuff that Ed Buck did. Says Martin, Ed Buck's interest in politics wasn't any less sincere than anyone else's. His love of animals was real, Martin says. The former councilman points out that Buck's first success as a political operative was in leading the push to impeach and oust Arizona's 17th governor, the late Evan Meacham, who was convicted of obstruction of justice charges and misuse of government funds. That was 1988, not long after Buck had sold for $1 million profit his Phoenix-based tech company, according to the Arizona Republic. The Arizona Republic, the state's largest daily paper, reported in a 2-page story that Buck had changed his name from Edward Buckmelter and built the company while sleeping on a mattress in a storeroom of its office. I don't think initially Ed was cultivating political relationships for anything but personal affirmation, Steve Martin said, but he soon learned there was an upside to it, that it did give him a certain amount of protection, a certain amount of buffer when it came to acting out in ways that were bullying. Martin, the former WeHo mayor, city council member, and participant in the founding of West Hollywood, believes meth has distorted Buck's native personality, and that while the city and the local community has done a great deal to try to mitigate the ravaging effects meth had on the local gentry, the community continues to be hammered by the drug. Ed Buck says Steve Martin is no more immune from West Hollywood's long-running meth epidemic than anyone. According to a PBS Frontline report, which cites a prominent UCLA study, meth use can lead to brain damage as well as psychotic behavior, including paranoia, insomnia, anxiety, extreme aggression, delusions, and hallucinations, and even death. Jazz fan, where is Ed Buck's other citizenship? I'm going to guess, but I want you to say it in the in the chat still. Everyone take a look, and when Jazz fan answers, I want to see that answer. Martin, who was opposed to the fur ban, recalls how Buck allegedly tried to bully him into changing his position. He really got up in my face, Martin said. It was really peculiar. I remember thinking, does he really think I'm going to be afraid of him and change my mind? I mean, the idea that you're going to somehow frighten someone with physical confrontation into changing their political position is, to me, completely obnoxious. The death was shocking news, but not surprising news, Martin said. You can quote me on that. If there was ever anybody in West Hollywood whose bed you expected a dead body to turn up in, it was Ed Buck. Purported reputation notwithstanding, there's very little documentary evidence of Buck's below-the-radar alleged penchant for erratic and temperamental behavior. Background reports and other searches yield little more than his names, previous addresses, and age. Israel. Is it Israel? All right. Purported reputation notwithstanding, there's very little documentary evidence of Buck's below-the-radar alleged penchant. I'm so sorry, guys. One exception to the dearth of legal documentation regarding Ed Buck's alleged threats of violence is a copy of a petition for a restraining order filed for a marriage and family therapist who Buck came to see in 2002. Listen to this, guys. He talked of narcolepsy and seemed to want amphetamines, the therapist James E. Jarnett testifies in the court document. When I told him I'm not a medical doctor and could not prescribe medications, he could talk to me about his feelings and interpersonal relationships, the defendant leaned forward aggressively, began shouting, and behaved irrationally. Jarnett's 2002 complaint further states that Ed Buck continued for days to harass him by posting strange flyers defaming him throughout his building, and by phoning him allegedly at one point threatening to make the therapist feel Buck's pain. According to Steve Martin, Ed Buck's neighbors have for years allegedly experienced similar bullying. No one wants to do anything about it because they all know Ed is politically well connected, Martin said. Shot up against his will. Here's where it gets sick. Even sicker, I should say. Letitia Nixon says she got a disturbing phone call from her son, Jamel Moore, a couple of years ago when he was still living in L.A. He said he had been shot up against his will by this man, this rich white guy, Nixon told WeHo Times. He was terrified. DeMar Love's last visit to Ed Buck's home allegedly ended with a similar incident. I'm a security guard for my real job, and I work sometimes 10 or 12 or 13-hour shifts, Love said. I was at Ed's house and I fell asleep. I woke up because I felt a prick on my arm. My arm was tied down and it was red. I got myself untied and grabbed a taser Ed had on his table. He had 2 tasers and we both had one pointing it at each other. He ran to the back of the apartment and I used my phone to get an Uber and got the hell out of there. I called 911 in 3 different police jurisdictions from the Uber that day, Love said. I called West Hollywood, Hawthorne, and Inglewood. Letitia Nixon, a U.S. Postal Service letter carrier who lives in Humble, Texas, a suburb of Houston, wants to know if her son was still alive when first responders came to Buck's house. She wants to know who called 911. She wants to know who the first responders were, what agency arrived on the scene first. Was it the Sheriff's Department or the L.A. County Fire Department? What did they see when they arrived? Who was at Ed Buck's apartment when they arrived? Where was Jamel's body? So far, no one at the sheriff's station will tell me or provide me with a report, she says. I leave messages and no one provides information. I think there's something they're not telling me. It's like they're hiding something. Nixon told WeHo Times she wants a proper toxicology report, a full accounting of the events surrounding her son's demise, and an apology from Ed Buck. She'd like to know more about why there are so many reports that her son and other young African-American men were allegedly injected with dangerously large doses of methamphetamine by Ed Buck. If such an investigation uncovers wrongdoing by Buck that led to her son's death, she also wants to have him serve time behind bars. Nixon can't help but wonder if there's another reason that authorities, including the sheriff and the coroner, have dispensed so quickly with her son's case. I do not play the race card, but can you imagine if this was a white young man and my black son was the one whose apartment he died in, Nixon said. But because it's a young black man who died at a wealthy white man's apartment who has powerful friends, you have a coroner's report that says he died of an accidental meth overdose. End of story. No investigation. Buck's own attorney told WeHo Times that he is dubious about the coroner's claim that Moore died of a meth overdose. The attorney said he doesn't believe the coroner's report reflects an accurate terminology, nor that one can die of a meth overdose. The attorney was asked not to be identified by name because there are currently no charges against Buck in the Jamel Moore case. Also doubts if Letitia Nixon is Moore's mother. According to Letitia Nixon, Jamel Moore flew back to L.A. the same day he died. He had been back at her home near Houston for about 3 months after a few years in Los Angeles and West Hollywood area, some of that time spent at Ed Buck's apartment. She says Ed Buck brought her son's plane ticket to L.A. A homegoing memorial service is now being organized by friends and family for Jamel Moore, also known as Jules Carter, Saturday, August 19th. I believe that this might have been from last year, guys, but there's more. There's more about Ed Buck here. We've got some additional photos. Here we go. Here is Ed Buck with Jerry Brown, Governor Moonbeam. We've got Ed Buck with Ted Lieu. We've got Ed Buck showing his pretty face. We've got Ed Buck with Adam Schiff. We've got Ed Buck with some other California Dem over here. And then Ed Buck with Hillary. Top Democratic governor. Here he is. Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti. Maybe that's why nothing happened to him when these young black men are showing up dead in his apartment on a mattress in the living room. Because he's friends with the mayor. He's a major booster to the mayor. The body of another young black gay escort was found at the West Hollywood home of Ed Buck. Sheriff's deputies are investigating after an African-American male was found dead early Monday morning at the Laurel Avenue apartment belonging to one of Hillary Clinton's donors. There will be a rally tonight. Thank you, someone who mentioned that. Redeemed by Christ. What's up? Let's see. Jasmine Canick, a communications and public affairs strategist who has worked with Jamel Moore's family, has announced there will be a rally at 7 p.m. tonight, so I guess that would be 10 p.m. our time, to prosecute him for the murder of another young black gay man. Let's see. The LA District Attorney's Office previously declined to prosecute Ed Buck, saying that, Patriot Lady Biker, what's up? I've got some mods out there, Pure Texan. Let me see. Let me get a show of hands from people who want to be a mod. It looks like I've only got one in the room. Let's see. Insufficient to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Buck is responsible for the death of Jamel Moore, which sparked an outrage from family members and others in the community. Here, Patriot Lady Biker. Patriot Lady Biker, you're a mod now. Here we go. Anybody else want to volunteer? No. GJ, all right, you're the first hand I saw. There you go. All right. All right, I should have 3 mods in the room now. How many people do we have in the chat, guys? Almost 2,000. 1,953. Good stuff. All right. Ed Buck, as we know, is a gay white man in his 60s, and he has a fetish for getting young black men high. There he is again with the escort. Oh, this is it. Oh, my God. Look at this. This is horrible. This is the kind of filth he lives in. This is Ed Buck on his couch right here. He just has people try on underwear, model for him. Ed Buck sits on his couch in his apartment while watching one of his victims model white underwear. Disgusting. This male prostitute who came forward in 2017 said Ed had an obsession with shooting him up with crystal meth and didn't even have relations with him. He'd never used needles before and became addicted. Look at Ed's living room. All right, here, this is Jamel Moore. Jamel Moore is the man who died last year. All Democrats are pervs. Well, I don't want to say that, guys, because there's plenty of Democrats walking away and coming over to the light side. All right. Ed Buck, clearly a disgusting human being. You know, you guys want to know the craziest thing? He used to be a Republican. And then he became a Democrat once he moved to California, probably because it was easier to be a Democrat in California. Here is the young man's body being removed from the apartment. All right, I just see someone. If I can get to it. Oh, okay. Sorry. I was going to make somebody mod and it's gone. Even on slow mode, it's different. Yes, Third Eye Jedi, I know. There are plenty of people on both sides of the aisle that are into this. It's not a partisan issue, you guys. I was joking when I said that all Democrats are sick. Yeah, you don't have to be a Democrat or a Republican to be a pervert or to be a serial killer. You know, I mean, as I said the other day in my video, evil knows no creed or color. It does not matter who you are. As far as your political persuasions goes, you have people who are psychopaths, all right? They are opportunists at their core, all right? They will do whatever they can to gain power, all right? Yes, Jesus is our only hope. They will do whatever they can to gain power, all right? It doesn't matter how they get it. They'll be whoever they need to be. It's disgusting. All right, now I want to touch back on that story from that poor little girl who was shot, you guys. All right. Chad, I see that hand, buddy. All right, I should have 4 moderators in there now, guys. That should be good. Police sketch of Jasmine Barnes' killer looks eerily similar to Stormy Zach's. I called this the other night, you guys. Look, is this the same sketch artist? Or do sketch artists just all go to the same art school? I don't know. But, I mean, how uncanny is this, guys? What are the chances? Is it just that when someone makes up a face, like for a police sketch artist, that they just, you know, they say the exact same thing? I don't even know. But, I mean, how uncanny is that? That's nuts. I just don't even understand it. Oh, this is odd. A manhunt was underway in Houston after a man opened fire on a family's car wreck last week and killed 7-year-old Jasmine Barnes. On Sunday, Texas authorities arrested and charged a 20-year-old black man named Eric Black Jr. in the fatal shooting of 7-year-old girl Jasmine Barnes. However, the original reports from the family who witnessed the shooting death of Jasmine described the shooter as a white male in his 30s. A police sketch that was immediately released of the shooter looked eerily like the man who threatened Stormy Daniels. All right. The sketch of the man originally accused of killing Jasmine Barnes is right here, and this is Stormy Daniels' ex-husband. They look like exactly the same person. Hey, sweet. Everybody, I would like to ask you from the bottom of my heart, would you be willing to share this on social media? Would you be willing to ask people to come on in here? And Lev, LJ, what's going on? Oh, what's going on, man? Tell us what happened. We'll pray for you. Everyone pray for LJ. It turns out the mother of Jasmine Barnes is a Facebook friend with her baby girl's killer. What do you guys think about that? Mother of Jasmine Barnes lied to police. She knew the killers were black men. Oh my God. This is horrible. Horrible news. Texas authorities arrested and charged a man in the fatal shooting of 7-year-old girl Jasmine Barnes, whose death captured national attention and sparked a manhunt for the killer. The original reports from the family who witnessed the shooting death of Jasmine described the shooter as a white male in his 30s. Trans black activist... Sean King. Talcum X himself offered a $100,000 reward for the arrest of the shooter. And police sent out a drawing of the shooter based on the family's description. Oh, wait a second. Oh, it doesn't look like him. Trans black, that's right. Sean King, he's transracial. It's like Rachel Dolezal. You guys remember Rachel Dolezal? Trans black, they're black on the inside. Okay. Harris County Sheriff's Office released a statement following Black's arrest. Investigators identified Black as a suspect based on a tip. Subsequent investigation revealed evidence that corroborated the tip, and Black was taken into custody in East Harris County without incident. Black then admitted to taking part in the shooting. Investigators are continuing to pursue evidence that could possibly lead to other suspects being charged in this case. All right. Let's see. Jasmine's mother was driving Jasmine and her 3 sisters southbound on the East Sam Houston Parkway feeder road near Wallaceville Road at approximately 6:50 a.m. when they were fired upon by another vehicle. Now here's a twist. The family said the killer was a white male in his 30s, but he was a black male. This is odd because the family who witnessed the shooting described the killer to the police. And now we know the mother of Jasmine Barnes is a Facebook friend with her baby girl's killer. Well, what do you know? Oh my God, is that him? That's the killer? Picture of Jasmine Barnes, ironic mother was Facebook friends with her daughter's own killer. How do you think that they knew each other, guys? You guys, I'm gonna vape now, I'm just letting you know. Oh, God. Jasmine's mother's name is LaPortia Washington. There she is right there. And she's friends with Eric Black. Oh. Elizabeth Duckworth! Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate the support, you guys. This is not my full-time job. Just a part-time job. Let's see. Oh, yeah, actually, we are going to be talking about that next. Where is it? Oh, hold on, you guys. I got the special treat for you. I completely forgot about this story. Let's see. Breitbart, Scott, Israel. Let's see. Gotta go to Breitbart. And Scott Israel is being removed by the new governor of Florida. Oh my God, my microphone is plugged in. Can you guys hear me? I just vaped for a moment, you guys, but I'm not vaping anymore. Is it not working at all? Crap. Please bear with me. Is it working? Is it working, guys? I'm going to speak for a little bit, and I want you talk again. I think you mostly fixed it. Okay, Sheriff Israel is messing with my sound. Isn't that weird? As soon as I started talking about Sheriff Israel, yes, everyone vape. Okay, great. It works now. Awesome. Okay, here we go. And in a dramatic announcement from the Coward of Broward. Oh, thanks, guys. I guess I won't vape anymore. That's a bummer. Okay. Report, Broward County Sheriff's Office asked staff members to stand as one in support of Scott Israel. God. No, this is from February 2018. What happened to the real article? What the heck? You guys, I don't know what happened to the article. Scott Israel being removed. All right, here we go. On the day that Florida's new governor was sworn into office, Broward County's top sheriff may be heading out the door. CBS News has learned that Broward Sheriff Scott Israel has been telling his staff he expects to be removed from office in the coming days. Additionally, CBS has confirmed that former Broward Sheriff Al Lamberti has been contacted by representatives of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis about stepping in if Israel is removed. There is no guarantee that Lamberti should be chosen for the role. He is one of several names under consideration. DeSantis, who was sworn into office as Florida's new governor earlier in the day, has not made any kind of formal announcement on the status of Israel's job. Israel is a two-term sheriff that has faced stark criticism over the way BSO handled the massacre at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School last February. 17 people were killed and 17 more were injured on Valentine's Day when Nicholas Cruz walked through an open gate into the MSD freshman building and opened fire. During a November meeting of the MSD Safety Commission, Israel was brought in to answer questions. Hey, Stephen Fron, thank you so much, buddy. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much for the super chat. It means a lot. I love you too, my friend. He was asked about a perceived lack of urgency from initial arriving deputies at the school who in some cases did not immediately run toward the gunfire and did not have an annual active shooter training. Israel said any deputies who are found to have acted inappropriately or failed to act would be dealt with. If we find out, they will be disciplined, and they will be disciplined swiftly, Israel said, adding that he's waiting for the commission's findings before proceeding with his own review. Commission members also grilled Israel over BSO's policy for deputies dealing with an active shooter. Now, do you guys know that the coward who chose not to go into the school on the date of the shooting, he didn't get fired. He resigned. And by resigning, he was able to keep his $100,000 a year pension. Yes, I am going to be streaming the president's speech at 9 p.m. But the reason he didn't get fired, the coward of Broward didn't get fired, is because he had previously covered up a sexual assault by the son of Scott Israel. Scott Israel's son, when he was on the football team at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, he and another boy sexually assaulted another boy. All right? And it was a pretty brutal attack. They went after him, and they charged him with some like misdemeanor thing, and nothing happened to him, basically. So because he covered that up for Scott Israel and his son, Scott Israel did not fire him when the time came to have him fired. All right. Now, in honor of the upcoming speech, Pentagon is preparing for potential order to build the wall. Yes. All right. Can you imagine a first world nation like the United States has a barrier like this? This is our border in places. God. The Pentagon is preparing in case President Donald Trump orders the military to build the southern wall, according to a defense official. Trump has hinted in recent days that he may do so amidst an impasse in negotiations with Democrats that has shut down the government. Schumer shut down. I may declare a national emergency dependent on what's going to happen over the next few days, Trump told reporters on Sunday. While no order has been given, Pentagon has been making plans just in case such an order comes down, the official said Monday. The idea of declaring a national emergency to have the military build the wall has been considered since fall, the official revealed. Some money could come from unobligated funds for military construction projects in 2019, the official said. Unobligated means the funds have been authorized for a certain purpose, but for whatever reason, they have not yet been used. The Army Corps of Engineers would likely be in charge of overseeing the construction. The organization would not build the wall itself, but would subcontract the project out and then inspect it to make sure its specification and defense standards are met. While most Democrats have claimed that Trump did not have the authority to for the military to build the wall, Chairman of House Armed Services Committee Adam Smith acknowledged Sunday that the president actually does have the authority. There is a provision in law that says the president can declare an emergency. He can pretty much do whatever he wants when it comes to the safety and security of our nation. Adam Smith acknowledged Sunday that the president does, in fact, have the authority. It's been done a number of times, but primarily it's been done to build facilities in Afghanistan and Iraq, or to deliver weapons to Libyan rebels and then, just sack the whole country of Libya. Jazz fan, thank you so much. Here, you are somebody that I was going to make a mod earlier. If I didn't already, let's see. Add moderator. There you go, Jazz fan. Jazz fan knows what's up. Oh, Christine, where we go one, we go all, my friend. That's correct. Thank you so much. Guys, somebody who was who watched the live stream like after it was recorded the other day. Christine, thanks again. Wow, double dipping. I appreciate it. Somebody got really mad that I kept like saying hello to the people who are giving super chats. I don't know if you guys realize this, but well, I mean, you're looking at the chat. It's going so fast, and when I'm reading over here on the left-hand side of the screen, it's difficult to see the comments on the right-hand side of the screen, but the super chat obviously makes it much easier. So I want to make sure that if people, go out of their way to give me a super chat, I'm going to say hello. But anyway, somebody got really angry with me. Elusive Gator, wow, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys, make sure if you haven't shared it yet, make sure you share it before 9 o'clock so that we can get everybody in here to watch this with us, because something tells me this is going to be great. Let's see. Acting Defense Secretary Patrick Shanahan, a Pentagon spokesman told reporters in December, in response to queries, Congress has provided options under Title 10 U.S. Code that could permit the Department of Defense to fund border barrier projects, such as in support of counter-drug operations or national emergencies. Well, we've got both of those going on right now. We've got national emergency because of all the drugs that are coming over the border, all of the human trafficking, the children that are being stolen and brought across our border, the children that are being stolen in our country and taken over the border to other countries. Disgusting. These people need to be stopped. The speech starts at 9 p.m., everyone. Acting Defense Secretary Patrick Shanahan is unlikely to oppose any such order for the military to build the wall. He better not oppose it. After a cabinet meeting last week on the border, he praised the Army Corps of Engineers for its work so far in restoring and building out of additional mileage for the wall. The Army Corps of Engineers is dialed in on doing this cost-effectively, quickly, and with the right amount of urgency as to where we can build additional stand-up walls quickly and then get after the threat. The threat is real. The risks are real. We need to control our borders. How can anyone not agree with that? We have to. It's 8:44 where I am right now, guys. How can anyone not understand that we need to protect our borders? Okay, no borders, no country. All right, but of course we all know the people who don't want to protect our borders don't want our country to exist. They want us to be part of some giant global melting pot, some part of a one world government, easier to control. But Smith and a number of other Democrats say they are opposed to the idea and that Trump would be open to legal challenges. In this case, I think the president would be open to a court challenge saying, where is the emergency? You have to establish that in order to do this. But beyond that, this would be a terrible use of Department of Defense dollars. Idiots. Stupid, stupid, stupid. The president is slated to give a nationwide Oval Office address on Tuesday in 15 minutes on the border situation and is expected to travel to the border on Thursday. Defense officials say they will be monitoring to see if a declaration of national emergency comes during those events this week. Vagrant Comics, best news out here. Oh, man, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, brother. Hey, drop a link. Vagrant Comics, if you've got a link to a website or something, drop it in the chat if you're able to. Separately, the Defense Department is slated to announce an extension of troops serving at the border by the end of the week. Military support to the border was extended through January 31st by former Defense Secretary Jim Mattis, and it is expected to be extended again. There are approximately 5,000 who are helping Border Patrol agents secure the border. Trump ordered the deployment ahead of at least 2 migrant caravans that are headed to the United States from Central America, and more. There are more than just those 2 migrant caravans. Oh, this is a good one I want to get into here too, guys. But this is going to make you feel good. All right, so we've got the president's address coming up here shortly. Just want to remind everyone, at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're about to watch the President of the United States announce a national security emergency so that we can get the wall built by the Army Corps of Engineers. Courtney Neal, thank you so much. I love that you are here listening to my channel. It means a lot. All right, guys. Okay, so we are done with the Stormy Daniels husband killer. We are done with Ed Buck and his disgusting proclivities. Let's see. We are done with that one, too. Here it is. Epoch Times. My God. A string of indictments by DOJ point to multiple global operations. All right. Not only is the swamp getting cleaned up in the United States, the swamp is being cleaned up around the globe. The Organized Crime Drug Task Force program was established in 1982 as a means to combat increasingly organized drug traffickers. The OCDETF program is an unusually broad coalition that, as noted by former Attorney General Jeff Sessions, brings together just about every federal law enforcement agency there is. It's the Swiss Army knife of law enforcement. The program strategy, which currently operates under the direction of Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, aims to focus federal drug resources on reducing the flow of illicit drugs and drug proceeds by identifying and targeting the major trafficking organizations and eliminating the financial infrastructure of drug organizations. In October 2017, Sessions announced that he was designating the international criminal gang MS-13 as a priority for the OCDETF. Sessions came under some criticism for his actions, with many noting that MS-13 didn't represent a significant force in the drug trafficking business. You got to be kidding me. But Sessions himself acknowledged this, while at the same time noting the strength of the program's reach. MS-13 sells drugs, but they are not primarily a drug trafficking organization. I have ordered OCDETF to prioritize MS-13 not because of their drug trafficking, but because OCDETF is such a powerful weapon. OCDETF is able to hit MS-13 from all angles. Increasingly, until early January 2018, the OCDETF operated under the direction of Department of Justice official Bruce Orr. Tammy Eaton, build the wall. That's right. Thank you so much, hon. On December 7th, 2017, Orr was demoted and stripped of his title as Associate Deputy Attorney General. A month later, on January 8th, 2018, it was reported by Fox News that Orr had been removed as the head of OCDETF as well. Orr was demoted and stripped of his responsibilities after it was learned that the FBI used Orr as a conduit for unofficial information from former MI6 spy Christopher Steele, who authored the now infamous dossier on then presidential candidate Donald Trump. After Steele was formally terminated by the FBI, Orr hadn't informed his superiors of this ongoing relationship. It would later be learned that Orr's wife, Nellie Orr, worked for Fusion GPS, the firm that hired Steele to produce the dossier. But Orr's troubles didn't end there. Fox News confirmed in January 2018 that Orr, as head of OCDETF, was directly involved with Project Cassandra, the interagency investigation spearheaded by the DEA that tracked a massive international drug and money laundering scheme allegedly run by Hezbollah. Thank you so much, Dana Stinson, for the super chat. Appreciate it. So the DEA, wait a second, Project Cassandra. Hezbollah was running drugs? And we've got people that are still supporting Hezbollah? Project Cassandra was the subject of a lengthy, detailed, and highly critical Politico report. The secret backstory of how Obama let Hezbollah off the hook. When the universe goes, when we go all. That's correct. Abraham Lincoln 2020. Where are you calling from, my friend? Are you here from Great Britain? Anybody in Great Britain want to tell us what's going on with the yellow vests? I had a video all queued up for the yellow vest, but apparently when I reset my computer, it's not here anymore. I do want to hear about the yellow vests, if anybody can tell us about that in Great Britain. Begun in 2008, the DEA amassed evidence that Hezbollah was engaging in drugs and weapons trafficking along with other crimes. The investigation traced its way to the innermost circles of Hezbollah and its state sponsors in Iran. So you guys know what this means. This means that the Obama administration gave those billions of dollars to Iran, who then turned around and used it to traffic drugs in our country. Thank you so much, Anbu Prank. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the super chat. You guys are awesome. Can somebody give me a view count? Tell me how many we got in the chat. I did a story, Jazz fan, on Assange. He has released information just stating that everyone is telling false and defamatory information about him. But I haven't heard anything additional. Let's see. Big stuff happening in Germany. The leader of AfD in Germany, first their office got bombed, and then the AfD leader was attacked by the Antifa equivalent in Germany, and his face was messed up, you guys. He looked like he was going to be in for some serious damage. 2.1 thousand. Jerry Singleton, Agent Anderson, thank you so much. Denise E, thank you so much. Laney Beliso Gill, thank you so much. Charles Smith, thank you so much. We're fluctuating a little bit. All right, 2189. Having doubts about Assange. I don't know. I think that Assange himself is a good person, but I don't know where he is. I mean, logic tells me he's still in the embassy. I think that he wouldn't have been able to get out of there without the UK snatching him up. Okay. We are starting soon, you guys. We're going to finish this article, and then we're going to pull up the live stream for the White House. According to the Politico report, Hezbollah's network moved metric tons of cocaine to launder drug proceeds on a global scale and procure weapons and explosives. Now, just think about all that money, all right? Where are they laundering that money? If they're doing billions of dollars, metric tons of drugs, a state government, all right, they are moving that money someplace. And that means other agencies throughout the world are working with them. It was, oh my gosh, this is a very long article. It was at this point that roadblocks began to appear. As Project Cassandra reached higher into the hierarchy of the conspiracy, Obama administration officials threw an increasingly insurmountable series of roadblocks in its way. When Project Cassandra leaders sought approval for some significant investigations, prosecutions, arrests, and financial sanctions, officials at the Justice and Treasury Department delayed, hindered, or rejected their requests. Obama and their officials wanted Hezbollah to run drugs. They wanted them to be successful. The Real Severe, my man. Thank you so much. Everybody follow Real Severe. He's the artist that we showed the other night. He spits truth, red pill rhymes, I guess I would say. Political article quoted Catherine Bauer, a former Treasury official in the Obama administration. Thank you for the super chat, brother. Who had testified to the White House Committee on Foreign Affairs. Under the Obama administration, these Hezbollah-related investigations were tamped down for fear of rocking the boat with Iran and jeopardizing the nuclear deal. So under the Obama administration, he allowed Iran and Hezbollah to run drugs, to hook American citizens, and essentially, Tactical Shed, is he in here? George Winsper, is Tactical Shed here? My man, Tactical Shed. Bill Smith. Bill Smith, is that the real Bill Smith? Do you guys miss real Bill Smith? I know I do. Tammy Eaton. Antifa left conflate words with actions. You are so correct. They don't care about facts. They care about feelings. You guys remember that show I did about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez the other night? People are too worried with being factually correct and not being morally correct or something stupid like that. Well, God, facts matter. Facts matter, especially when you're an elected official. Okay, I'm going to get started on the president's live stream here, guys. We're going to have this queued up, and we're just going to talk now. Please install uBlock Origin to get rid of those ads, brother. I don't know what that is. uBlock Origin. I'll write that down. Shalana Pierce, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. I appreciate you. uBlock Origin. Okay, uBlock Origin. Now, you guys, I do have a Mac. I don't know if uBlock Origin is something I can use on a Mac, but I will attempt to install it. I would imagine it would kind of speed things up too, because I know that ads use up a lot of resources on your computer. All right, you guys, I'm gonna do a test real quick. I'm gonna vape, but I'm gonna go to the back of my office, okay? Okay, I'm gonna go back there. Tell me if you can hear it. All right. Could you guys hear me vaping that time? Yeah? Everyone, welcome. It is 8:56 p.m. Please, yes, give me thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell if you have not notified yourself of my streams yet, of my videos. I try to put out 2 videos a day. The reason it's so important for you guys to make sure that you put the notifications on is because YouTube does not like the videos I make. I try to make them, as palatable for YouTube as possible because I don't want them to shut my channel off, Untitled 21, build the wall. That's right. Thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. All right, but my big question is, guys, I'm on 6, Robert Redfield. And yeah, okay. Please hit the like button, share it. I need to get the word out because YouTube is constantly shutting my videos down. Thank you so much. Yes. And it is nicotine, you guys. I am drug-free and proud to be. I'm sober as a church mouse. And that's my choice. That's how I like to roll, because I like to keep my mind sharp. All right? If I was doing anything else, I wouldn't be able to be here with you guys tonight. And it's only by the grace of God that I am allowed to be able to do this. Okay? I have been blessed. God has given me a platform. And I'm here to spread the message, you guys. I'm so proud to be here with you guys tonight, because President Donald Trump is going to finally, hopefully, announce that, okay, yeah, nicotine's a drug like coffee's a drug, okay? But President Trump is going to finally announce a national security emergency so that we can get our wall built. I vape flavored vegetable glycerin. I used to smoke cigarettes. Don't smoke cigarettes anymore. All right. We have 2 minutes to go. Live stream is starting soon. MAGA. MAGA. Chronic meds, you're still welcome here. To each his own, they say. But what I'm against is, you know, the stuff that's out there today it's way different, you know, than it used to be. James Blank. Use this to buy a pack of Stigs. It's similar to the Juul, but much better. Also very quiet. Thank you, James. I appreciate the super chat, my friend. I will write that down. A pack of Stigs. I don't know what that is, but I will look into it. My vape juice. Almsy. Double entendre there. All right. Hey, you guys, I haven't had the time to, like, be scanning the chat for any trolls tonight. Do we have any trolls? Anybody causing any disruptions? I sure hope not. The URL for the Trump address, Zach Morris, we're going to be playing it right here, buddy. Can't you see on my screen? The stream is about to start in just a minute. I'm just at whitehouse.gov. All right? Thank you, Patriot Lady Biker. Oh, my God, you guys. Something's happening. It's 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock. I'm going to refresh the screen. See if that kicks it into high gear. It's still starting soon. All right. Jason Richards, how'd you do it? One day at a time. Okay. So how about your day, everyone? How was you guys' day? Did everyone have to work? I had to work until 7 o'clock. Then I took my dogs for a walk. Then I made myself a little bit of dinner. And then I got ready for my live stream. This is a great time to be alive, you guys. Donald Trump is, quite honestly, the best president we have ever had. All right? He has done so much in the 2 years that he's been here. I know that everyone hasn't seen my True MAGA 205 accomplishments videos. Lisa N., I appreciate you, dear. Thank you so much for the super chat. I do appreciate that. But if you guys want to see, you know, what President Trump has done, I'm sure that everyone here is well educated on what he's done. But if you want to red pill somebody, send them that video, okay? Show them the top 205 accomplishments President Donald Trump has completed since taking office. It's amazing. Amazing when you look at it. When you see them all lined up, everything that he's accomplished, it's incredible. Tell you what, guys, I'm going to take a look real quick at the Q posts while we're waiting for the president to begin. Let's see if there's anything new. I'm Thora. Thank you so much for the super chat. I do appreciate it. All right, hey, we didn't even talk about Ginsburg. What did Q say? Q brought up Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Oh, live now. Refresh. All right, the White House says it's still going to take a minute. Oh, here it is.
My fellow Americans, tonight I am speaking to you because there is a growing humanitarian and security crisis at our southern border. Every day, Customs and Border Patrol agents encounter thousands of illegal immigrants trying to enter our country. We are out of space to hold them, and we have no way to promptly return them back home to their country. America proudly welcomes millions of lawful immigrants who enrich our society and contribute to our nation. But all Americans are hurt by uncontrolled illegal migration. It strains public resources and drives down jobs and wages. Among those hardest hit are African Americans and Hispanic Americans. Our southern border is a pipeline for vast quantities of illegal drugs, including meth, heroin, cocaine, and fentanyl. Every week, 300 of our citizens are killed by heroin alone, 90% of which floods across from our southern border. More Americans will die from drugs this year than were killed in the entire Vietnam War. In the last 2 years, ICE officers made 266,000 arrests of aliens with criminal records, including those charged or convicted, 100,000 assaults, 30,000 sex crimes, and 4,000 violent killings. Over the years, thousands of Americans have been brutally killed by those who illegally entered our country, and thousands more lives will be lost if we don't act right now. This is a humanitarian crisis, a crisis of the heart, and a crisis of the soul. Last month, 20,000 migrant children were illegally brought into the United States, a dramatic increase. These children are used as human pawns by vicious coyotes and ruthless gangs. 1 in 3 women are sexually assaulted on the dangerous trek up through Mexico. Women and children are the biggest victims, by far, of our broken system. This is the tragic reality of illegal immigration on our southern border. This is the cycle of human suffering that I am determined to end. My administration has presented Congress with a detailed proposal to secure the border and stop the criminal gangs, drug smugglers, and human traffickers. It's a tremendous problem. Our proposal was developed by law enforcement professionals and border agents at the Department of Homeland Security. These are the resources they have requested to properly perform their mission and keep America safe. In fact, safer than ever before. The proposal from Homeland Security includes cutting-edge technology for detecting drugs, weapons, illegal contraband, and many other things. We have requested more agents, immigration judges, and bed space to process the sharp rise in unlawful migration fueled by our very strong economy. Our plan also contains an urgent request for humanitarian assistance and medical support. Furthermore, we have asked Congress to close border security loopholes so that illegal immigrant children can be safely and humanely returned back home. Finally, as part of an overall approach to border security, law enforcement professionals have requested $5.7 billion for a physical barrier. At the request of Democrats, it will be a steel barrier rather than a concrete wall. This barrier is absolutely critical to border security. It's also what our professionals at the border want and need. This is just common sense. The border wall would very quickly pay for itself. The cost of illegal drugs exceeds $500 billion a year, vastly more than the $5.7 billion we have requested from Congress. The wall will also be paid for indirectly by the great new trade deal we have made with Mexico. Senator Chuck Schumer, who you will be hearing from later tonight, has repeatedly supported a physical barrier in the past, along with many other Democrats. They changed their mind only after I was elected president. Democrats in Congress have refused to acknowledge the crisis, and they have refused to provide our brave border agents with the tools they desperately need to protect our families and our nation. The federal government remains shut down for one reason, and one reason only, because Democrats will not fund border security. My administration is doing everything in our power to help those impacted by the situation. But the only solution is for Democrats to pass a spending bill that defends our borders and reopens the government. This situation could be solved in a 45-minute meeting. I have invited congressional leadership to the White House tomorrow to get this done. Hopefully, we can rise above partisan politics in order to support national security. Some have suggested a barrier is immoral. Then why do wealthy politicians build walls, fences, and gates around their homes? They don't build walls because they hate the people on the outside, but because they love the people on the inside. The only thing that is immoral is the politicians to do nothing and continue to allow more innocent people to be so horribly victimized. America's heart broke the day after Christmas when a young police officer in California was savagely murdered in cold blood by an illegal alien who just came across the border. The life of an American hero was stolen by someone who had no right to be in our country. Day after day, precious lives are cut short by those who have violated our borders. In California, an Air Force veteran was raped, murdered, and beaten to death with a hammer by an illegal alien with a long criminal history. In Georgia, an illegal alien was recently charged with murder for killing, beheading, and dismembering his neighbor. In Maryland, MS-13 gang members who arrived in the United States as unaccompanied minors were arrested and charged last year after viciously stabbing and beating a 16-year-old girl. Over the last several years, I've met with dozens of families whose loved ones were stolen by illegal immigration. I've held the hands of the weeping mothers and embraced the grief-stricken fathers. So sad, so terrible. I will never forget the pain in their eyes, the tremble in their voices, and the sadness gripping their souls. How much more American blood must we shed before Congress does its job? To those who refuse to compromise in the name of border security, I would ask, imagine if it was your child, your husband, or your wife, whose life was so cruelly shattered and totally broken. To every member of Congress, pass a bill that ends this crisis. To every citizen, call Congress and tell them to finally, after all of these decades, secure our border. This is a choice between right and wrong, justice and injustice. This is about whether we fulfill our sacred duty to the American citizens we serve. When I took the oath of office, I swore to protect our country, and that is what I will always do. So help me God. Thank you and good night.
God bless America. All right, you guys. Thank you for bearing with me. I have never done this before. And many people were giving me suggestions during that in order to get the sound to go directly through the streaming software. I'm going to have to do some more research to figure that out. All right, so unfortunately, Jay Black, thank you very much. Oh, God. Yeah, I've known a lot of people in my hometown that have died from heroin, and it's horrible. Can you see the third picture on his desk? No, I did not see the picture, guys. Let me see if I can rewind it.
Cut short.
All right, so... All right, so we've got... Aren't those like his... Those are his parents, I believe. Those are his parents. Yeah, no, cannot see that other picture over there. You're very welcome. Okay, you guys, so I figured out how to increase the sound output right there. Oh, God. All right, so what do you guys think? He basically said Congress either needs to put up or shut up. He's giving them one more chance. Thanks, Jay. He's giving them one more chance. You sound like a chipmunk in the walls. This mic is pretty good. So, Laurie R., thank you so much. I appreciate the super chat. President Trump is a gentleman, okay? Hey, C.A. Hearn, I know. I really wanted to see a national emergency pop off tonight. I wanted to see people freaking out. I wanted to see Democrats flipping over cars. And thank you very much, Severe. But he's giving them an opportunity. He's giving them one more shot at doing their job. All right? He said they need to do it tomorrow. Well, if he doesn't do it tomorrow, who knows what's going to happen. God, I really want something to happen. I really am ready for this to go down. All right? Yes, where's the rebuttal? Where's the rebuttal? Democrat rebuttal. Let's see. Democratic rebuttal videos. Let's see. Actually, we've got to go to YouTube. Hey, that's me. No, that's 11 months ago. Let's see. Democratic rebuttal, State of the Union 2018. Tammy Eaton, Gen B, thank you so much. Let's see. Where, I bet you if we go to live on YouTube, YouTube will have it front and center. President Trump right there. Live now. God, does anybody have a link to the rebuttal? NBC right now. Okay, so NBC. Elusive Gator, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's see.
Security solutions. But the president is rejecting these bipartisan bills which would reopen government over his obsession with forcing American taxpayers to waste billions of dollars on an expensive and ineffective wall, a wall he always promised Mexico would pay for. The fact is, President Trump has chosen to hold hostage critical services for the health, safety, and well-being of the American people and withhold the paychecks of 800,000 innocent workers across the nation, many of them veterans.
Thank you, Woodrat.
He promised to keep government shut down for months or years, no matter whom it hurts. That's just plain wrong. The fact is, we all agree we need to secure our borders while honoring our values. We can build the infrastructure and roads at our ports of entry. We can install new technology to scan cars and trucks for drugs coming into our nation. We can hire the personnel we need to facilitate trade and immigration at the border. We can fund more innovation to detect unauthorized crossings. The fact is, the women and children at the border are not a security threat. They are a humanitarian challenge, a challenge that President Trump's own cruel and counterproductive policies have only deepened. And the fact is, President Trump must stop holding the American people hostage, must stop manufacturing a crisis, and must reopen the government. Thank you. Leader Schumer?
Thank you, Speaker Pelosi. My fellow Americans, we address you tonight for one reason only. The President of the United States, having failed to get Mexico to pay for his ineffective, unnecessary border wall, and unable to convince the Congress or the American people to foot the bill, has shut down the government. American democracy doesn't work that way. We don't govern by temper tantrum. No president should pound the table and demand he gets his way, or else the government shuts down, hurting millions of Americans who are treated as leverage. Tonight, and throughout this debate and throughout his presidency, President Trump has appealed to fear, not facts, division, not unity. Make no mistake, Democrats and the president both want stronger border security. However, we sharply disagree with the president about the most effective way to do it. So, how do we untangle this mess? Well, there's an obvious solution. Separate the shutdown from arguments over border security. There is bipartisan legislation supported by Democrats and Republicans to reopen government while allowing debate over border security to continue. There is no excuse for hurting millions of Americans over a policy difference. Federal workers are about to miss a paycheck. Some families can't get a mortgage to buy a new home. Farmers and small businesses won't get loans they desperately need. Most presidents have used Oval Office addresses for noble purposes. This president just used the backdrop of the Oval Office to manufacture a crisis, stoke fear, and divert attention from the turmoil in his administration. My fellow Americans, there is no challenge so great that our nation cannot rise to meet it. We can reopen the government and continue to work through disagreements over policy. We can secure our border without an ineffective, expensive wall. And we can welcome legal immigrants and refugees without compromising safety and security. The symbol of America should be the Statue of Liberty, not a 30-foot wall. So our suggestion is a simple one. Mr. President, reopen the government and we can work to resolve our differences over border security, but end this shutdown now. Thank you.
That the Democrats' response to the president's remarks.
Oh, Lester Holt.
Turning over a lot of new territory here.
Guys, what is wrong with Chuck Schumer's eye? Both him and Nancy Pelosi looked a little half-lidded. She was probably taking Valium because she couldn't drink so that she could go on television. But Chuck Schumer, hey, Nancy and Chuck from Too Little Too Late. Thank you so much for the super chat. Chuck Schumer has you guys ever see those the eyelids of people who are MK Ultra victims when they've had their eyes pried open and then they're dropping eye drops on them so they make them watch horrible things. Or I've heard that from the electric shocks that they give people, it makes one eye open or close too much. You see a lot of people in Hollywood with that. Chuck Schumer has that. Chuck Schumer has that half-mast eye. What's up with that? God. All right, guys. Well, I think that's it for me. We have successfully watched the president's address, the very first Oval Office address from President Donald Trump. I want to thank everyone for joining me. I want to thank all my mods for showing up. I'm going to be doing another live stream on Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully, we'll have some more Patriot music. If anybody out there is a musical artist and wants to submit some music for us to listen to on Saturday night, that'd be great. Let's end with a Hillary Kuru video. Oh, Hillary Clinton's melody. Oh my God. Oh wait, I know what I want to show you guys. Hold on. Hillary cough phlegm. Oh my God. Oh, let's see. Where's the one? Here it is.
And I want to thank Congresswoman Marcia Fudge
Watch
for
this.
hosting us. too.
Watch. Oh, God. Look. Oh, look, it just fell in there. Oh, here we go in slow motion. Oh, God. And then she drinks out of it. Oh, my God. It's not the first time.
And I want to thank Congress.
Oh, Beanbags McBean. Thank you so much. Oh, wait, you guys. I wanted to read a Q post. That's right. Let's see. Oh, yeah. We'll do it. We got the search. Imagine that. What a coincidence. Everybody is afraid that Ginsburg is going to cough up a lung. Now, there was actually an article I read a couple of months ago, you guys, that said that Ginsburg was planning on leaving the court at the beginning of the year because she was very, very sick. And let's go ahead and take a look. Let's see. Ginsburg leaving court. A lot of people think she's already dead. I definitely see that. Let's see. Yeah, see, I'm not going to find it on Google. What am I doing? Bing. Ginsburg to leave Supreme Court. God, where is that article? Oh, well, a couple months ago I read an article that said that Ginsburg had told aides that she was going to be leaving the court because she knows she's got cancer and she's going to need some major help. And Q had said that Ginsburg was being kept alive with drugs. Oh, let's see. There we are. A grand jury investigation headed by John W. Huber. I actually did a report, like when I first started making videos about a month ago. Hey, Redeemed by Christ. Thank you. Thank you so much. But I did an MK Ultra video about a month ago, and I covered this article that Q posted in the post 2663 on the 7th, so from yesterday. But this is what's going on with the people on the in the cabal. Program developed ongoing under offshore, not domestic tangent agencies. So Q is saying that MK Ultra, the CIA, they moved the whole MK Ultra operation offshore. All right. She had half her lung removed. Wow, was it that much, Lady Warrenon? Oh my God, yeah. I agree with you. She's a goner. Yeah, my father died from lung cancer, and once it gets into your lungs, I mean, you've got so much blood going through there. I mean, it goes throughout your whole body. Covert funding with the United States, all of that money, that slush fund money that gets pushed into black projects, animals and humans. Someone else, a good friend of mine, sent me a video today, which was coverage from this article, but the CIA did a lot of work on dogs, okay, on making sure that they could control dogs. Awful. Humans, they went from animals to humans. Humans in 1988. I tend to think it was a lot earlier than 1988. But thank you, Rachel. I do appreciate it. My father passed away in 2009, so almost 10 years ago now. 71% average success rate. All right. I'm sure you guys have seen those videos also of Hollywood stars, people, just going blank on screen, okay? Like they just staring off into nothingness because their programming has broken. Targeted mental criteria designated as, what does this mean, guys? This is what I don't know. How many spaces are here? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then a comma, 10, 11. So we've got spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We've got 12 letters. 12 letters, but I think that comma has got to be a typo. So 13 letters. Targeted mental criteria designated as PSYCHOSIS. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's only 9. I don't know. If anybody can figure out what that is in the kill box, let me know. Mental institutions and therapists, program specialists, cocktail regimen 4 times daily, brain intercept, administered by... Okay, here's the hint. There we go. Covering brain signals into action. Converting brain signals into action. Today, 8 million Americans are living with paralysis or have lost limbs. Many could benefit from technologies that would help them carry out daily activities, but high-tech prosthetics or other such devices are not always sufficient to meet these needs, particularly for those who are paralyzed. To improve the quality of life... See you, Krista. Love you. Okay, so they built these computers that interface directly with your brain, and then they can use it. Clinical and transnational science. All right, so is it this facility, this organization? This is the National Center for Advanced Translational Sciences. A doctor's name within the kill box, thus the comma. Ah, MD Michael Boninger, could be. Andrew Schwartz. DOCTORGREEN. No. It's not Elizabeth Tyler Cabarra. That's too many letters. Okay. WIA military personnel, targets of the program, PTSD plus. Wounded in action, military personnel, targets of the program. PTSD, clandestine ops, zero affiliation, nonstick, something out of a movie, fiction, the hole is deep. Yeah, I don't even have cable, guys, so I get all of my news through the YouTubes or the internet. All right, you guys, what did you see these tweets from Maggie Haberman? A stone sits idle while the world around it evolves. Evolution, depending on the stage, can be deadly. 12 letters plus 1 space. I think it was... See you, Jazz fan. Bye. All right, guys. I got to get off. It's 9:30. I've got some more stuff I have to do tonight. Psychopathic. PSYCHOPATHIC. That's not enough. I actually wrote that down. But yes, thank you very much for joining me, you guys. Look for my video in the morning. I am going to put it out. I try to put out a video in the early morning, and then I put out another video late at night. For some reason, I get a lot more views on the videos late at night. But hopefully, you know, if I put one out in the morning, you'll have time to watch it throughout the day. That'll satiate you until you get to the video at night. Once again, I am Red Pill 78. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. I appreciate you being here. Good luck, and God bless.